Yo, yo, yo. Big up, big up, big up, big up. United Yardman 876. And today we're going to talk about Manchester United and their midfield problems. So, as every Manchester United fan would know, unfortunately, Casemiro's contract will not be renewed and he will be leaving in the summer. Now, Casemiro, for me, class player, class player. 5 times Champions League winner with Real Madrid. He was a class player at Real Madrid. I personally feel like he hit his personal, I mean like prime in terms of like accolades and trophies and them little thing. That obviously he did everything that was there to be done with Real Madrid. But I feel like in terms of personal performance, he hit his prime while at Manchester United. That season where we had the retro style kit with the collar. I think that was like the 2023 season. Like the same season when Rashford did a perform, Casemiro was doing a job. He was doing a madness in that midfield under Ten Hag. And I genuinely feel like he was one of the most important players, not only just in the midfield for Manchester United, but just overall. There's a point in time, I think in the 2023 season, where he, like for a good portion of the season, he was our top goal scorer. So like, Connor usually take him, would have find him head on it, or set pieces, just them little thing. Him even score one insane goal from way out of the box with him right foot. Him just crack one and it just go right in. Like, Casemiro is that saying that says form is temporary but class is permanent. That is Casemiro. Casemiro is a class midfielder. And what I understand say he is getting up in age, and at one point we did all feel like, like him knees them did done and him just did washed. Like him go for show, you said, really and truly, class is indeed permanent. So he might not be as fast and as powerful as the younger players in the Premier League right now, but just the footballing brain we him have, the positioning that he has, him not forget himself in a certain position. So yeah, he might fast and then continue, but he's not giving you that chance to run into that space. That man does not pull out of any challenge, like at all. I don't know how film wife now 5 picnic, that man just don't pull out ever. If Casemiro go tackle you, he's going to tackle you, and that has cost him some red cards as well. But it's good for know say somebody like that they in your team where they're going to always give their 150%. And that's what Manchester United needs. We need some mentality monsters. And we're losing a mentality monster now, and we need to replace them with a mentality monster. Now, with the current market right now, I do think there are players who could definitely replace Casemiro as class as he is, but there's still players out there who could do a job. I know Manchester United had their eyes on Baleba, especially last year, January. I think we almost signed him and it never worked out. I'm hearing talks now that we are interested in signing either Wilfred Ndidi or Ruben Loftus-Cheeks on loan. Now, as I said, my channel is a channel where we focus on the positives and we try not to slate or bring down or tear down players. That's not what I'm about, never what I've been about. If I have an opinion on a player, I'm going to say it in the most respectful way possible, but I'm not going to bring down nobody. I think Wilfred Ndidi was definitely, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, he was definitely a class player. Like, never one of the best in the world, but definitely one of the top central defensive midfielders in the world 5 years ago. As it goes for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think he's a very technical player. I think he's good at carrying the ball, but I also think he's a player who you only see him like show up on the pitch when he has like confidence, essentially. And I know that's probably, that can go for anybody, but I think when he's not playing with confidence, he he's just not. He's not. He's not that good. He's not somebody that I would prefer at Manchester United. I think he did decent at AC Milan when he just got there, but it seems as if he can't even get into the starting lineup right now for AC Milan. And the Italian league is a bit slower than the Premier League. I think the Premier League is more high paced. So if you leave the Premier League and go to an Italian club and you cannot really manage the pace of Italy, you're not coming to Manchester United to manage the pace required to be in a Manchester United team. Even if we're not the team that we were back then, for us to gun and go for, European football, go for that top 4 position, go for maybe not a title. We're not going for a title charge, let's be real. But just to finish somewhere respectable in the top 4. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Wilfred Ndidi are not the type of players we should be looking at. Bringing in a player like Carlos Baleba, to me, is one of the better options, but I don't even think personally he's the best option that Manchester United could go for. Now, I am going to mention a player that I think would be absolutely fantastic at Manchester United, and I'm not going to be here and be like, oh, nobody knows about him or nobody watches him. I'm sure people know who Felix Nmecha is. Or I don't know if the N is silent in his name, but he plays for Borussia Dortmund. He is, I wouldn't call him a CDM. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder. And to me, a player like that, if you've watched that man, he is so, like, he's a physical monster. Like, he's like 6'4". He's fast. He's good on the ball. He's technical. You can't take the ball off of him foot. Like, the ball stick on him foot like glue. He's good on a challenge, good on an aerial duel. He is a midfielder, I think, who, if you have Bruno in the 10, you have Kobe just a little bit behind Bruno, and then you have somebody like Felix around there with a Kobe. Absolute cinema, as the meme say. So I think he's definitely a midfielder that Manchester United could look at, but I think at the same time they'd want a more traditional holding midfielder, and I wouldn't be mad if we got Baleba. I like Baleba for Brighton last season. I know he's not having the same season he had last season, but my sister just walked in. So I know he's not having the same season he had last season, but at the same time, a player, one season doesn't define him. If you have a one season where you're kind of off, then I mean you can cut some slack there. I think Baleba is still a brilliant player. There is also a player I remember that Fabrizio Romano had posted that we signed, some 17-year-old kid from Colombia. And I'm not going to try and pronounce that man's name right now. It starts with C, and I must have R score or something. I don't remember his name, right? But or not that I don't remember, I can't pronounce it. But I watched some videos on him playing, and I must say, and I don't want this to be another like Sekou Kone type of vibe, but the report from Fabrizio was that we signed him for him to be a first team player. And when I watched his videos, I cannot lie, he looks like a class midfielder. If he can go under the tutelage of somebody like a Michael Carrick, who has won it all for Manchester United, who was, to me, one of the most underrated midfielders in the Premier League. Like, I wouldn't be mad if somebody said you can call Carrick's name in the same, well, maybe not the same conversation, but like in the same ballpark figure as like the Paul Scholes and the Lampards and the Gerrards. You get me? I say, like, if somebody said that, I would not be mad. And I'm not just saying that as a Manchester United fan. Michael Carrick was class. Now, if you can get that Colombian midfielder that we signed under the tutelage of somebody like Michael Carrick, who played in his position, then I genuinely feel like we could save some money. You never know, we could save some money. We could start the kid in a FA Cup or a Carabao Cup match next season. We can see how he plays in the preseason tournaments that we always do in like America or Asia or whatever. We could play him there and see how he plays, and if it's a case where we realize say, oh, this kid is really good, like give him the game time. We save money, we don't have to sign some other midfielder. But I understand that Casemiro leaving is a hard one to take, and it's not a player that you're just going to replace that easily in terms of experience, ball knowledge, um, just being around and having done it all. Like it's going to be hard to replace a midfielder like that. But I do think that, you know, like teams have to move on. Players do get old and have to play in a bit of a slower league. I'm not sure if that's the case with Casemiro, but he's approaching that age now where, you know, players tend to move on to Italy or move on to the MLS, or the new trend now for players is to move on to Saudi. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Casemiro does, but who knows? Who knows? Like maybe he feels like he just wants another challenge, and the challenge is maybe another Premier League club. Like we never know. We never know. But yeah, tough one, Sekase gone, but I think it's a problem that we can somewhat easily sort out. It's not something that we have to really scratch our brains about or lose too much sleep over. Like he's still with us for the rest of the season, and we have enough time to work out something from now until then. But yeah, big up. You don't know your boy United, the hard man needs over six. Yeah.